So I'm sure you've heard all the reports of how inflation didn't improve as much as they thought it would. So therefore, over the last couple of weeks, we saw interest rates briefly dip below 6%. It was at 5.99% for a few hours. And then it went straight back up into the sixes, and now is about 6.88%. On average, that is. So it's kind of interesting because you would expect with the rates being as high as they are, that things in the market would be very, very challenging, and they are very challenging. But we're not seeing the kind of market that we did before when we had these kind of rates. This time last year, we had really great rates and we had a lot of multiple offer situations. Now, we don't have rates nearly as good as we had this time last year. We probably won't have rates that good for a decade, if ever. And even though the rates are higher now, we are starting to see multiple offers again, and we're starting to see houses sell over the asking price again. And the reason for that is because the rates are higher, even though at this time of year we typically see inventory increase, right now we're actually seeing it decrease. The reason being, a lot of people have great mortgages. They have an interest rate under 4%, and they don't want to sell and buy a house at 6%. So not as many people are moving as usual. And all the people who were putting off buying a house before, now a substantial portion of them are okay, we've put this off long enough, and we actually do need to move. So I can't put this off any longer. And now they're entering the market again, and there's more of those people than there are people who have their house out on the market for sale right now. And that's why we're starting to see multiple offers in the market again. So if you're looking to buy over this next year, there's different ways you can look at it. You can buy now. You won't get as good of an interest rate as you will if you buy later on in the year, but you won't be faced with as many or as intense of multiple offer scenarios as you will later on in the year when the rates are lower. And then later on in the year, you can refinance and get a better rate. Now it'll cost you $500 roughly, give or take some, but you won't be overpaying for the house it's maybe $20,000, $30,000 if you buy more towards the beginning of the year, more towards now, versus if you buy later. Now at the same time, you can just choose to buy later and you'll get a better rate from the beginning. You won't have to pay that $500 or so to refinance, but you will be more prone to being in a multiple offer situation than you will now. They do exist now. They're not everywhere, but they do exist now. Whereas later on, they're much more likely to be around, and they're going to be probably quite a bit more intense than they are now. Just because with the lower rates, more people are going to be entering the environment. That said, because inventory is so low right now, it is a challenge to find what you might be looking for. But if you are wanting to take advantage of it not being as intense of a seller's market now as it will be later on, most likely in the year, then it's worth at least trying and looking and seeing if you can find what you need. And then if you can't, then you can't, and you just work with what you have. But if you can, it's a good opportunity to be looking right now. And there still are different strategies you can implement now to help work with the higher rate environment. You can do assumable loans, you can do buy downs. There's these different programs where the seller will even contribute to your mortgage payment for the first month or two effectively. So if those are something you want to learn more about, reach out to me and I'd love to go through them with you. They're great strategies that you can use to help make the house that you're purchasing work for you. So if you or someone you know is looking to buy this next year, call me or respond to the email that you got this video in, and I'd love to help you. Talk to you soon.